Alright, Luca, what did you want? She's just up the way here. Hit me with the news, baby. Okay, I didn't really need that. It will be nice to save after Spiky Tiger, though. That was a tough battle, and we're above and beyond it now, and it's nice to lock in our progress beyond that point. So now we're going to go east of the Water Palace. If you never played the game before, you didn't even know there was an east side of the palace. But there is, and that's where we're going to go to help out Undine the Water, or Undine the Water Elemental, however you want to say it. We are going to get magic from her just as soon as we defeat another boss, but trust me, this one's a lot easier than Spiky Tiger. And before we go do that, I am actually going to set the girl's action grid to passive because there are some very tough enemies coming up. And I don't want her getting her butt kicked too badly, so she just needs to stay out of the way. And both of them will just step aside and I will handle things. These are If-fishes. They're pretty tough enemies for this point in the game. I do not like that I'm getting acid stormed here. Wowee, that hurt. And it's also not advisable to get too terribly in their faces. Although I do like when you hit them, they just kind of are like, huh? Like that, their mouths hanging wide open like slag-jawed yokels. It's cute, but we are here to kill, not be killed. So we need to get these guys out of our way. They're good for a little bit of experience. Alright, some levels up right here. This will be handy for inside the cave where we see more of these guys. Just get right in with the hits. And guys, you can defend yourselves if you need to, especially you, Sprite. I gave you a whip for a reason. Though it seems you aren't really that great with it. You better not die in this cave, Sulfur. So help me God. But as long as he doesn't get in the boss's way, that shouldn't be a problem. Everybody's at level 11. Huzzah! Except for maybe the Sprite, who's probably a few levels behind us. That's pretty much my reaction too. But this guy isn't the boss. He will turn into the boss. But he's pretty harmless. You just have to hit him until he does turn into the boss. And if you're feeling extra sadistic, you can use charge shots on him. Like so. Oh! That is our first 100-point hit, I think. Nice for the critical to show up there. But once he's ready to do his thing, he'll kind of stretch out and expand like that. And he will turn into the Biting Lizard. We want to stay out of Biting Lizard's face because he has a very Yoshi-like temperament where he eats people. So we do not want to get right up in his face. So what we want to do is employ a hit-and-run tactic. I like to come in from a diagonal angle, go in, get the hit, get in after him, and then run away. And I like to do it with a close-range weapon like the sword or the spear. But as you can see, this is the reason I have them all set to passive, so that nobody gets in the way and nobody gets hurt or eaten. Because if you get eaten, it can lead to a pretty vicious cycle where he just does it over and over again. If I do happen to get eaten, God forbid that should happen, okay, now he's curing himself. But he doesn't have very many hit points, actually. And he doesn't have very many magic points, either. There we go, there's the Sprite getting eaten. I will probably need to heal him momentarily if he doesn't die at this point. Yeah, he's pretty close to death's bed, and I don't have any candies, so I'm gonna have to waste a chocolate on him. Maybe we should have stopped by Nico's after all. That was way more recovery than he actually needed. Okay, Sprite, this is not a zoo. Do not feed the animals. Jesus. But he only has a few magic points, so he can only actually cure himself 3 times. He may try again later, but he'll just stand there and kind of wait for it to happen, but nothing will happen. And at that point, that's when you really need to go in and lay into him. He's got one more heal in him, I think. But after this point, he is down for the count because he no longer has that at his disposal. Alright, guys, out of the way. Let me handle this one. No, 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 no! That was not supposed to happen. But it can kind of happen over and over again. I'm glad he faced a different way and got the girl. I always keep saying I'm glad the girl got hit. That is not what I'm trying to insinuate here. It's just if somebody's going to get hit, better somebody who's just standing aside. Okay, better somebody innocent. Okay, this is just going to sound terrible no matter how it comes out. Oh, God. But see, he'll just stand there trying to heal, and nothing will happen, basically. So, this is when we need to get in, get the kill. He's almost dead. I can feel it coming. He'll just kind of slump over once he's dead. And we will get a gloves orb out of him. Not that we're leveling up the gloves, we don't really need that. There he goes, down for the count. Now, we get our magic. Through the door ahead, we've earned it. Let's go get some magic from Undine. I'm going to say Undine, or I'm going to try to anyway. Excellent. And we get restored, that's nice. Now you can see the problem here. 3 people in the party, 2 kinds of magic. Somebody's getting boned here. Not the girl. And not the sprite. So it's me who has to do without magic, of course. Girl gets recovery and defense, and the sprite gets battle magic, which we are going to be using a lot of. It is going to make boss battles a cakewalk. Very small consolation. That doesn't help me now. Well, that's a crappy little second place. Isn't that cute? But it's wrong! And she also gives us the shittiest of the mono weapons. There is no way I'm going to be touching the pole dart. It's terrible. It is a level that can work on multiple ranges, like the boomerang and the bow. Like how those worked on Spiky Tiger when nothing else did. Call me anytime. Okay, thanks. Bye. So you can hit enemies on different tiers with it, but it's not a good weapon. I'm not going to be using it. Don't stop me now. So let's get out of here now. And let's go back and see if Luca wants anything. Oh, yay. More fishes. I had actually kind of forgotten they existed. But not to worry, I shall dispatch of them. You guys just stand back and I'll take care of the rest. So now we're going to get back to Luca and see what she wants, and then I will kind of explain to you how I'm going to grind magic. I will only grind certain useful types of magic, and I'll show you how it's done and where to do it, because it does make a difference where you grind your magic, where and when and how and what kinds they're worth leveling up. I will explain that all shortly once Luca gives us our next set of orders. So here we go. Alright. Thank you for staying out of the way, everybody. So let's go on into the Water Palace and see where we need to go now. And I'm not going to bother showing off individual spells. Basically, if a spell is worth a crap, you'll see it in action at some point. So I'm not going to bother showing off every single spell, because there are a lot of deadweight spells that you never really do anything with in this game. There are some that are really only good for leveling up. There are others that simply aren't useful at all. But yes, we'll save our game, and now let's get our next set of orders. To the Underground Palace we go. And it's pretty easy to figure out which spell to use on the Crystal Orb. If you've been paying attention to the dialogue, you know what to use. But now we could choose to stay in this Water Palace and grind up our magic in here, but if you are not holding your weapons, that is not a place where you want to level up your magic. The best place to level up magic is out in the field of battle. I'll show you how it works real quick. Here's a good place. Now I'm going to take the girl and use her for a second because she has Remedy, which is only worth 1 magic point, so it's a great spell to level up with. First of all, actually I'm going to go back for a little bit and show you the magic leveling screen. Go to level here, you can check weapon and magic levels, and you press R to get to the magic skill window. Right now Undine is at 0, 0. The first number is the level that the spell is at, is the level that that particular elemental is at, and the second number is how many points you have raised up toward the next level. So I'm going to use Remedy out here because it's a very cheap spell and a very good one to level up with out in the field of battle. Just use it on any old person. Me, maybe. That's good. And as you can see, Remedy has the same animation as Medical Herbs. It does the same thing as Medical Herbs. So Medical Herbs are now obsolete. We could go sell our Medical Herbs if we wanted. I'm not going to. You never know when you're going to need physical weapons for some occasion or the other. But now let's go check our magic skill. As you can see, magic skill for Undine has gone up by 9 points. You level up magic very quickly in the beginning, but every time you go up a level, you get less points for leveling up your magic. So the higher level your magic is, the harder it is to level up. It's really easy right now when it's at level 0, but now I'll show you the difference between grinding outside where your weapons are out and grinding in here where you're not holding anything. This time let's use Remedy again. This time on Sulfie, sure, why not? And now when we go back and we check her magic skill, you're going to see that it didn't go up as much. It only went up to 13. So you want to use your magic if you're leveling it up and grinding. You want to level it up out in the field of battle where your weapons are out. That makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. You only get half the experience when you're in a place like this where you're not holding your weapons. So, all that to say, I'm going to spend my time outside in the field of battle grinding magic for both the girl and the sprite because Undine magic is useful for both of them. So I am going to get their magic up to level 1, and then when I have done that, I will meet you back at the Underground Palace. So here's the entrance to the Underground Palace. It's right smack in the middle of the Dwarf Village, and I have got the magic leveled up to level 1, so I'm going to let Spritey Sprite do his dang-a-lang thing. Got to use the ice magic on the Crystal Orb, as the dialogue revealed earlier if you were paying attention, so we use the freeze spell on it, and the lava goes down. And we gotta go in and we're gonna be very careful here because this first room is a real doozy. But if I get right in and I take out one of these purple maw goblins, this is the first palace swap we see in the game, the first of many anyway. We want to concentrate on the purple maw goblins first because they spawn regular goblins, which is the green guy up there. So now he's spawned 2 goblins. Excellent. Haha, he used Defender. He actually thinks stat spells are worth a crap in this game. They're not! Well, they are doing their damnedest to protect their mama, so I'm going to try to go around and get on that side. There we go. And it's kind of dangerous to be up in here right now, as you can see by the sprite getting his tail whipped. I don't know why he's going after them, because he is set to passive on his action grid, and it looks like I'm going to have to use a candy on him already. See, this first room can be really tough right there if you're not careful, like the sprite. He is a good little goofus to my Gallant. What's in this chest? I don't think I've ever gotten a chest from any of these guys. 60 gold. Not too shabby as far as a money drop in this game. But we want to go ahead and take this guy out as soon as possible. It should be a little easier now because we have more room to maneuver around. I can get the sprite and the girl out of the way if I need to or not. But I'm going around here because I feel like there are a couple of switches I need to be hitting. That's really smart. You go straight into that axe swing, Jess. Good move. And there's a chest knight. They have kind of high evade. You tend to miss a lot when you go after them. But I wish there was some better armor because the sprite is really taking it. But if anybody needs healing, I'm going to be careful to use magic, or I'm going to be careful to use candy or chocolate rather than magic. Because I need to save my magic for the boss, who is particularly difficult without it. This guy takes a while because he's got pretty high defense, and he moves out of your way a lot, and I'm not really sure why we're concentrating on him. He's not really that much of a physical threat unless he lunges at you with that blue fancy unicorn horn. So let's come in here to find some more familiar enemies. There's a green drop. There should have been a blat in the doorway, but you know how this game is with enemy sprites sometimes, so let's go this way. You can take out green drops with fair quickness now. There we go, there's one switch. We're going to have to get around to the other one in due time. And I think that's going to be all we have time to really get around to today. Okay, there's one down. Let's get out of here. The green drop isn't really important to me at this time. What is important to me is going around, opening up this door, and getting the next switch. Just a mere blat in our way. Well, we're going to take care of him, step on this switch, and move the giant torch out of the way. And that will reveal this door, which will lead us up further, or down further, as the case may be, into the Underground Palace. So we're going to stop here for now, call it a day, and we will fight Fire Gygus pretty quickly a few minutes into the next video.